Activity we felt through this invocation will surely guide our thought and discussion as we move forward with today's proceedings.
As we move forward, it gives us immense pride to briefly share about the institution hosting this prestigious Congress today.
Dayananda Sagar College of Engineering is a premier institution known for academic excellence, innovation, and a strong emphasis with both technical
pillars of this vision, fostering cutting-edge research, progressive curriculum design, interdisciplinary learning, and ethical research practices that align with the global standards.
At this moment, it's our privilege to welcome a leader who has played a pivotal role in shaping this academic ecosystem.
We cordially invite Dr. Ramesh Babu DR, respected head of the Computer Science and Engineering and Vice Principal of Dayananda Sagar College of Engineering, to kindly address the gathering.
Good morning to one and all present here. At the outset, I thank Professor Gangley for accepting our invitation and raising this to this International Congress on Industry 5.0. Thank you very much on behalf of the management, faculty members, and students. I welcome you for this International Congress. Thank you very much. It gives an immense pleasure to welcome you all for this Industry 5.0. We are here to gather information about what is Industry 5.0 and also how we can contribute for future technology. In last few decades, there are a lot of disruptive technology happening because of artificial intelligence, automation, AI, and deep learning, data science, cybersecurity. So many things is happening, and it's well that it is operating the industry in a very efficient way. The technology is taking over the human being. What is the role of humans in this Industry 4.0? So there was no much involvement of human beings in this Industry 4.0. Then there was a question that human has to involve, collaborate with the technology for better future. So that's what the evolution of Industry 5.0 came into picture, that there should be a smart collaboration between the human being and the industry to come out to shape or to revamp how we can help the society. There was a missing that human intervention was not happening in the technology. So I'm really happy that you people are here to contribute to Industry 5.0, how we can bring new technologies for better future. This International Congress is very useful for you people. There are a lot of thought leaders who is coming online, offline, to give an insight about what is Industry 5.0. So please grab this opportunity. I request all of you to contribute, okay, for future technology. And I National Congress Industry 5.0, which is human-centric and sustainable future. Okay, thank you very much for all the faculty members, students, and keynote speakers who made this event happen. And I wish you all the best. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring address and your continued leadership and guidance. To present the collective voice of our undergrads, students, and to share their perspective and expectations from this Congress, we now invite Ms. Bhumi Agarwal, a sixth semester student from the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Dayananda Sagar College of Engineering. We request her to kindly address the gathering.
Respected dignitaries, esteemed faculty members, and my dear fellow students, a very good morning. It is an honor to stand here and speak as an undergraduate student representing young engineers. As we move forward, we are should be present while exploring the real world challenges that we should be able to solve. As a young engineer, we came here with great expectations. We tend to learn from the experienced mentors and professionals. We seek to have guidance about the emerging technologies and also to understand what is actually shifting and changing in the engineering professionalism. However, as we stand in the threshold to be adhered by us. We are no longer just building the solutions that we use and the machines that we daily work on. We are relying on a sustainable future. The concept of human engineering. I think we should focus more on the optimization of the interface that the humans and the systems they use in. It now must be viewed with a lens of sustainability instead of just providing a full-fledged product. As a collective body of students, we believe that sustainability is not a specialization anymore, and it should now be a very important foundation that we must keep on building everything. That every product that we keep on building must rely on the sustainability feature. Human engineering must evolve to prioritize the health of this planet and the inhabitants of this world. As we move along, we should think of moving from a cradle to grave mindset to a cradle to cradle philosophy. Relying on sustainability and its scope should now be meticulously evaluated, just like a stress on the beam or a latency in a circuit. I think we should learn and we should scope out to learn more about the how process instead of the what process. We are here to learn how the actual product works, just starting from the scale of collecting the raw materials to the final disposal. We should tend to learn how to actually solve the real world problems and to build from a high impactful solution just for the industrial purpose to a sustainable. Knowledge, it has to grow, think, and motivate us to actually produce something that can benefit all of us. I believe that the present we live in today is the environment that is built by the sustainable. So that is the whole point of what we are tending to seek for the conference, and I believe express a sincere gratitude to the organizers for
for organizing such a valuable event. We seek forward to understand and participate enthusiastically and learn from this event. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Department. We are pleased to unveil the Department Magazine quarterly students and faculty. It captures ideas, achievements, and perspectives that align with today's world.
This magazine truly reflects the spirit, dedication of our department and a commitment to nurturing
It is a privilege to introduce our esteemed guest speaker, Dr. Gandhi, a distinguished academician and researcher whose work has significantly contributed to data-driven innovation and human-centric technological advancement.
We are deeply honored by your presence, sir. May I invite Dr. Gandhi to kindly take the stage and address the gathering.
Thank you for waiting. I will set up my computers. Okay, good. Thank you very much, and also thank you, Mr. Michael, this for invitation. It's my great pleasure to visit this Dayananda Saga University and college here, and I'm quite impressed by the audience and also by the campus. Before I move on, I would like to ask one question. Okay? The same question I would like to ask again at the end of my session. So, if any of us use mobile phone to respond Twitter or X or Facebook or Amazon or post any kind of comments or vote up, vote down, post any image into Pinterest, Instagram, please raise your hand. Okay, can you take a photo of it? Okay. The same question will be asked again at the end of my question, at the end of my session. Okay, and then in between, I hope that you expect something might be changing and maybe changing your mind. And what is that thing? Before I move on, of course, I would like to thank my team. This is some of them are my PhD scholars. Now they are working in Australian National University as assistant professors. Some of them working in the Macau University now at the dean there. She was my PhD student back to 12 years ago, and a lot of others. Of course, if you have interest, you can visit my team's URL, tulip.academy. You can see this my research labs information. So I make things simple. You know that in the past decades, or especially since COVID, many things happen. And in our college, I think our college is a college of engineering, college sometimes college of technology. You know, most of university they call it as science and technology, right? And then in general, there's some kind of not bad thing, but elective thing talking about us. You may have heard about the concept they call as whatever called science, it's not science, right? Computer science, they don't think it's a science. Why? Because they think that's engineering. We are technicians. Okay? We are not scientists. And then management science, they don't think it's a science. Okay? And then we have political science, we have data science. Unfortunately, of course, the same thing. What mathematical, okay? Physicals, chemistry, chemistry area and medicals, they call themselves scientists, but call us technician, okay? And then that's something we don't feel comfortable. Fortunately, something changed. What's happened that year? Okay. 2024, October. The Nobel Prize fiscals goes to these two gentlemen. These two gentlemen, you know him, right? Jim Hinton, okay? He is a computer science professor in Toronto University. But he's an intern in Google. He was an intern in Google, okay? Well, he was a full professor in Toronto. At that time, deep learning was not that hot. He was just an intern, not a senior intern in Google as a professor, okay? And then there's a Hopefield in 1980s. He proposed this kind of thing called a Hopefield network, and that's of course considered as computer or AI model to simulate the human brain. But then you see that 2022, the Nobel Prize research and AI research. So we are scientists, right? We are scientists. This is not the only evidence. 2 or 3 days later, Nobel Prize chemistry. About them, you may have heard about AlphaGo. You heard about it, right? AlphaGo, they are the people behind AlphaGo. AlphaGo is mainly for Go chess playing. But then they developed this kind of concept, change this kind of models to do protein analysis. And then it's a revolutionary change. The traditional way for chemistry for this kind of say protein analysis was done mainly manually. But now with the support of this AlphaFold, AlphaZero, rapidly change. Previously they needed 6 months, maybe 1 year to complete something, 10 minutes. Okay, so that's why there was this kind of Nobel Prize in chemistry. And this also added us some kind of confidence. We are scientists, right? We are computer scientists, we are AI scientists, we are data scientists, we are scientists. We are not just technicians. Okay. But there's some kind of saying. In 2008, people claim that we came into the era we call as the end of science. What do you mean by the end of science? The end of science means, if you read that paper, that's nearly 20 years ago, okay, White magazine cover page, they said that we were moving into an era that we will do science discovery different from traditional. Traditionally, you may have heard about those kind of things like you have to define a problem, collect the data, come up with some hypotheses, and come up with your model. And then now you see that the only thing you need to do is set your destination. That destination is achievable by this kind of, say, kind of technology, AI algorithm, whatever. And then we try to get it. Okay. Of course, it's not some kind of things you cannot do, just like I want to ride a bike from here to Sri Lanka. Ride a bike. You cannot, right? But in general, you want to get there, use whatever. Okay. So you can see define the smart objective which is achievable by the convenient tools, available tools. That become very important. And then no one believed that in 2008. Now, I think 2024, and from then on, most people believe this. Most people accept this one. As we came into a world which we may not need that much of traditional scientists. And then we're moving into some kind of era. Even science, there is science 5.0. They need to use the data set. They need to leverage this kind of AI tools to get to the destination. When it's possible. Of course, not just ride a bike from here to Sri Lanka, from China to Japan. Not that. Something achievable, they can achieve. So this is not the only thing. But some of us ask, what happened in between? What made these several years so different? We saw two major reasons. One is we are growing flood of this kind of data. And I saw almost everyone. We said, yes, we post photo, we put comments, we vote up, vote down. We are contributing the data. So every time we are contributing the data, this kind of data indicate what's our flavor. For example, for me, using Apple Music, you know, you like this kind of. I like it. You know? So you can see our behavior also reveals some kind of things about us and provide this kind of growing flood of data. Another trend, of course, you see that I really and that is the second reason is hot. We have more accessible computational power. We have more accessible GPU, and we may also be aware of another thing we call as and that reduce, and they can allow us to analyze a huge amount of data. Think about one CSV file, Excel file. For example, 2 gigabytes. I just want to but if you 2 terabytes, 10 terabytes, your computer only 2 terabytes. What you can do? So there are a lot of problems behind it. Of course, there are some kind of architecture which can allow us to do so. And that was the Google GFS and more recent one as Hadoop MapReduce and Spark is mainly used for it. Of course, this kind of trend for science is not just traditional science. They think they are science, they're old science, and then we have the new science. Of course, there are some kind of other science. They call that social science. Okay? And they have the same. But then for this kind of change, for science area, they call it the fourth paradigm of science discovery. And anyone know him? Jim Gray, okay? And he passed away in 2008, but retired in 2012 because he was missing at sea. He was Nobel Prize, Turing Awards Prize the winner because of contribution in database. If you analyze using database, he might be one of the very important person behind. He think that we are coming into the world that just like the end of science. We are using AI and big data to help us to do so. They call this kind of science is why? Anyone know this place? Near the old airport, Bangalore. Okay. The first time I came, because before COVID, I was invited by them. That's since I have the fourth paradigm of this institute, that's near NAL. I think before 2019, every year I visit there. I was given there's a talk there. They are doing something like that. Of course, there's at that time with a focus on agriculture. Okay, and you should be proud of it. Okay, you are very good as a state and very nice as a city with this kind of trend. And Microsoft India, research India also here. So it's very good place. And of course, there's in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, there are a lot of other institutes. There's many interesting things. So as researchers, research scholars, PhD students, and then bachelor students. I think hopefully that you take your advantage. I think Dainanda Saga and colleges provide a lot of opportunities for this. You should explore it rather than waste it. Okay, and now let's have a look at tourism and hospitality industry. These two things always goes together. Hospitality, many of our restaurants and hotel, tourism could be this kind of say tourism sports. There's a US, there's a duty, this kind of stuff like Mysore, this kind of say ancient cities. But then how this AI is related to this? I will have to mention one thing. As our professor mentioned that I'm professing, I mean as AI research. But as AI researcher or data scientist, you have the most beautiful things. Wherever there's data, you touch it. And then I would like to say, AI, my ranking is around the world 2,000 something, my own ranking. But in one area, tourism and hospitality, the social business, my ranking is around 200 in the world. And my team is rockets. But I'm a professor in cybersecurity. My team is doing cybersecurity. You see that how these kind of things are mixed together. Don't know where. And we know that nowadays we have a lot of sensor tracking. Your mobile phone is some kind of sensor tracking. So Airtel, they know where you are because you carry mobile phone everywhere. They know that within that 5 meters, they know where you are. They know a lot of things about it. So I was just an assistant professor in Beacon, and then my friend is in Hong Kong. So we work with Hong Kong Tourism Board. You may not know because you, as a foreigner to Hong Kong, you might be able to stay there for 90 days. For me, as an Australian, I stay in Hong Kong. Without any visa, I can stay there for 90 days. Chinese mainland residents, they have to get a permission. Every time they get a permission, they can only stay in Hong Kong for 7 days. Only 7 days. Okay? So that's something that's a different. They cannot come there individual. They have to come as a tourist group, as group visa, a group permit to visit them. So 2007, as a Hong Kong was facing, that relationship, that's a financial, that's a crisis, faced a lot of problem. So Chinese mainland government, they allow Hong Kong to say, okay, make an individual visa scheme. So that individual can come to Hong Kong, but only for 7 days. So that, of course, opened a lot of opportunity. But the problem there is Hong Kong Tourism Board. So this kind of travel agency in Hong Kong, this kind of a cruise, this kind of business owner, this kind of casinos, this kind of hotel and restaurant, they are interested in all of this. How this kind of preferences to visit Hong Kong. So that was the expectation. So Hong Kong Tourism Board is 2007. They give us a small grant as 1 million Hong Kong dollar, okay? And then they recruit a lot of social science to do this kind of analysis. Think about how you or social science they do it. Social science when they do it. Now they're still doing it in this way. They recruit a lot of surveillance, and they send the surveillance to airport or to the train station to mainland China. They approach a person to say, "Sir, can you spend 5 minutes for me to fill this questionnaire?" They ask you this question about who you are, what is your income, how many days you stay in Hong Kong, what is your favorite place, what do you do here, what do you do there. And then they hope that they capture some kind of good information for them to do analysis. Think about this is costly. Because at the end of the day, they at least have this kind of souvenir, maybe a bookmark, maybe something very small, but still that's costly, right? And then they forgot the things. I'm not sure about you. For people like my age, in the morning, what do you do? Very, okay? Last Sunday afternoon, what do you do? And then in the evening, what do you do? You may remember. You may. But for me, for my age, I have to check Canada. I have to check everything. What did I do? Even yesterday, I know, but the day before, I forgot what I do. Okay, because life I stay in my bodies strong. So that's sort of like a routine. So sometimes the question is, you know, in Tamil Nadu, not Tamil Nadu, but in Intercom, that's near Chennai. Okay? This place called Mahabalipuram. The fourth time I visited, I know that it's called Mahabalipuram. Okay, so if you give me a question now, ask me to think, what is the most Mahabalipuram? I don't know, right? And then may not be because my impression does not match with this thing. So if you collect my information, what's my favorite place? Even I have this one in mind, I don't think it. I don't know. I may run pick up something. So that is my problem. Of course, that was my problem. But if you collect data in this way, it becomes your problem. Okay? So you should be aware of this. So 2007, how did we solve it? At that time, we noticed that many people like to take photos. And then they like to take photos and share photos through some kind of website like Flickr or Panorama. At that time, popular like Pinterest or Instagram. We should be aware. Most of mobile phone camera, they have more than one, they have a GPS information inside. So the photo contains what time the photo was taken. What is the GPS location when that photo was taken? If you upload 10 photos, this is time 10, 11, afternoon 2 p.m., 4 p.m., 6 p.m. I link this GPS location and know what we do. I don't need to ask you, right? So that was the idea. So our approach, even though there's at that time there's a give every group that's near the same amount, many other groups they send surveys we send. Of course, we use this kind of idea, crawl this kind of data from internet. And then from there, we will be able to know the GPS location. If you put all of this kind of photo together, we know that in Hong Kong, what is the most favorite place for people to take photos? This one just like I said, if there's a density that's there, that means a lot of people take photos. So based on density, we know what are the most favorite places in Hong Kong. Of course, in Bangalore, you know that you can do the same kind of analysis. Which people like to take photos? Bangalore Palace or the other place or I don't know. Okay? And most of this, of course, free, but may not be the same as DMO material from the object. Because in Hong Kong, the object I always talk about Hong Kong Ocean Park, Hong Kong Disneyland. And we see that not here, okay? Not here. They're expensive, right? How much is it? Because the entry for Ocean Park is around I would say 5,000 rupees. For us, if we have no kids, go with why you want to visit that place? You may not want to visit the place. We are not promoted because you pay the entry fee. And the many other free places you may take photo. Okay, so that is the place. Of course, based on this, we can also see in one particular area. For example, like I say, Hong Kong Central. From early morning to the evening to the very midnight, what is busy time, hottest time there? How many people will be there? And what kind of people are there? Because they are profiles. So based on this, you can design your advertisement. If my product is in Hong Kong, but I I want to say it for people like say South Indian people. Tamil Nadu, people speak Tamil. That's in Hong Kong. I can see okay for those people that speak Tamil. That's what time they want. They want to appear there. So you can have targeted advertisement based on this. Okay. Of course, another thing happened that's about bus train. That's the bus route that they design. This time I'm very proud of it. Really proud of it. Why? Because at that time, there's Hong Kong Central, Hong Kong peak. People spend around, I would say, 70. That's around that. That's 700 maybe once. Also, there's 700 rupees. That's to take a cable car from here to the peak. They can walk around and at the end they don't want to spend 700 rupees going down. They may take 20 rupees, take a bus down. But then we found that many people, 70% of people, they don't take cable car going down. They try to direct it going down. Okay? Either by cab or by bus. But at that time, the bus stop was very small. Only one bus stop. And we said that we need a bus terminal. And then 1 year later, that place was developed by government. It's become very huge bus terminal. There are 5 or 6 roads ended there. Okay. Descended and 1.5 years later, something realistic. So is this easy? Easy, right? It is easy. This is the award we won. At that time, the third guy was my bachelor honors student, the 4th-year bachelor student. When he joined us, that was second year. When he finished this work, was 4th year. He was a computer science student. He published his work in tourism management, won the journal paper of the year award by 3rd place. So, computer scientist become a star in tourism as bachelor student. So it's possible. Is it the end of it? No. This was just the start of the boy's research. This boy, because of this, we are tired. We think we can do something. Still here. Think about this one. The GPS location only told us we have people here. The people get to come here 1, 2, 3, 4. What are these places? We don't know. We don't know. If we know this is the train stop, this is the shop, this is the restaurant, this is the airport lounge, you know, okay. The person get off the train, did some shopping, had a meal, and then waiting in the airport lounge. And you know more about his behavior rather than this place 1, 2, 3, 4. In general, there's in India, in Australia, United States, that's similar because there's not much told you. In Hong Kong, GPS become problem because one GPS location that may have a lot of business related to it. There may be there's a cinema, maybe a restaurant. Just one GPS, just one talk. So in Hong Kong, GPS was not good enough. So what do? We found that there's some other kind of information, for example, like a Foursquare or Uber Social or Yelp. They provide us some kind of information report and checking. So let's have a look at this. This is the real check-in record. This person checking in Hong Kong International Airport. At this time, previously visited time 45 times, 40 times. And then this time he also visited, he may post a photo, he may put comments. We don't care. But then we know that this time. We link this thing together. We just crawl one person's information together. This is one person. Okay? So that this day, the person checking in Hong Kong International Airport. This day, checking in Hong Kong International Airport again. In between, everything happened in Hong Kong. So what is this? This is his trajectory in Hong Kong. So his postgrad as a male, that's that one. So you know that this kind of thing at least impress him.
And you can also see that what kind of food he liked about Hong Kong and what kind of business that he liked or didn't like. Of course, this is more information, right? We just collect this kind of data. The same analysis as before. We know which places are popular. Now it can be more refined scale because previously I said which GPS location is popular, but now we know which business is popular. I want to have this kind of, for example, like say South Indian food. They know which is the most popular South Indian food. How many people take both of them? Okay, you can based on this one to say, okay, whether there's any South Indian food that is favored by South Indian, rather than Chinese. Okay, Chinese style different than this. You want to have lung or Hyderabad biryani rather than the Karnataka or Tamil Nadu. This kind of. Like what kind of event they like, for example, we understand that many people that's Western, they like to take photo in the restaurants. And Asian also quite a lot. And transportation. That Hong Kong have that tram car and the Ding Dang car, okay? Basically, you just have 20 rupees, and then you can just hop on the right, and then they know that's very popular as in Hong Kong. And then in between, you can analyze the difference between many different things. And of course, I will skip this kind of details. The same kind of things can be done by people. So now you can see. Second on the right, that's good. That already got his PhD in computer science. They got there's an assistant professorship in Central Christian University at that time. But then he did this work in management. He won the Chairman Paper of the Year Award 2017 first award. So it's the top. So what do you mean? Okay. So basically just our hobby. And then in some other area, it may be changed. Okay. Maybe revolutionary change. Okay. And this one, of course, also have a backfire. And the boy, because they found that, okay, AI is so difficult. And how about we just focus my effort in tourism? So I keep doing this kind of work. And then I think 2021, my university brought him back from the other university, become a associate professor in business. So you search his name, Huang Wu. He's a rising star in business. Not in AI. Unfortunately for my group, because my group isn't doing AI, all my team members doing fun. So you see that is not fun. But then another thing I want to emphasize is we didn't use much AI. But what if we use a little bit of AI, what will be happen? What kind of things will be happen? So that's now be a little bit focused. We think about this. The data we have was just like a comment checking run. Okay? Think about it like a photo. So at this time, if we have a group photo together, at least indicate that you and me, we are in the same photo. And then if in the internet, so that's one. We call it a priori algorithm. And then ABC 4 guys inside and the APE 2 guys inside. So every photo has some people inside. Can we find out who would like to take photo together? Well, you have hundreds, thousands of photos. Okay, can you find out? So we do have. This one was a traditional problem in AI. We call it a priori. We call it basket item analysis. In a shopping area, say supermarket, you may have even people have different item in your basket. Okay, you bought this thing, and then people want to sell whether you want to buy something together, toothbrush, toothpaste, and ice cream, and maybe with some kind of coke. Yeah, they wrap this together and give discount, so you buy it. Okay, so let's see the average. If you didn't learn it, I don't learn this one, you should, a priori. Okay, if you didn't learn it, you can learn it in 2 minutes. Let me see. I want to find out who would like to take photo together. We scan the database. Only appear once, remove them. Anything less than 2, remove them. So we say, okay, now this ABC, this at least 2. We scan them again to see that who took photos together at least twice. At least twice. Just count it again. Okay? So AB and AE only in the photo once. So they're not frequent. So we remove them. Only have this, right? So we have AC, BC. Is it possible to have ABC together? We can put them together. So these are candidates for 3 of them. Okay? And then we scan them again. And the other only took once, and then BC appeared twice. So you found out BC like to take photo, right? Is it clear? Understand? Okay. So now think about if from public photo, then know that who like to take photo. If from those kind of say hotel checking, if every kind of hotel checking public available together every night, if the public available together. What is the end? Who would like to take? Let's go to go to hotel together, right? More frequently, right? Of course, hotel may be too extreme. Think about those can check in record. If you and me we check in the same restaurant in this hour, 5 hours later in another places, we check in again. Maybe that means we know each other. Okay? Just like yesterday, there's the police that took me for dinner. Today, now we are also here. We took photo yesterday and today. At least that's we know each other. We did something together, enjoy something together, right? So let's do something. We analyze all these kind of check-in record for country, small country like Singapore. Okay, for Singapore residents checking outside. Of course, there are a lot of check-in. They say, check-in here, check-in there. We see any kind of common check-in. We found that we have 2 persons. One is the male user 5, another one is user 6, female. In the past, at that time, 7 years, that's 3 years, 2015 to 2017, there are a lot of common check-ins in China, in France, in UK, in Hong Kong, Vietnam. What do you find out? The system didn't say these 2 persons know each other. At least you know that they know each other. It's very unlikely for 2 persons have so many common check-in in different countries. This is typically within 1 hour. The same place within 1 hour, right? Of course, based on what kind of place you guys check in, for example, like say lounge, restaurant, cafe, bar, maybe they're dating, maybe, right? Maybe they're dating, maybe they're husband and wife, maybe, okay? At least that maybe father and daughter, they also. At least you know they know each other. Okay? This is something interesting, right? Let's do it again. Singapore people, within Singapore. You know the Singapore people there, every day they go home. We found 2 persons, user 7 and user 8, male and female. In that many years, they have a lot of common check-in, and then they also have a very regular check-in in hotel in Singapore. This is fish. A little bit less, sometimes you may feel comfortable, but it may be indicate that they're not married. If they're married, they should have a place to stay. Okay? That they typically should be dating. If you find this slightly interesting, right? Let's have a look. More interesting. We found out there's a boy, user 9, male. There's a lady, user 10, female. That's has a lot of common checking with user 9. The behavior like that dating. At the same time, user 9 have another user 11, female. Also a lot of common checking. Of course, they separate. Okay, this user can. What does this mean? Akash, can you make a guess? Okay. I think you may have your guess. Maybe the boy is double dating.
and 2 girlfriends at the same time. Okay? This is publicly from the public information. Okay, if you are interested in this is the paper we published. I would say this is the only paper, scientific paper, the only scientific paper talking about this kind of privacy breach. After this paper, that's normal. Why? Anyone know why? 2018. 2018, EU have GDPR. Before that, they said that this, they didn't say this is possible or not possible. But after that, they said, this kind of public data is there, you are not allowed to do this kind of thing. Privacy breach. I'm very proud from my team, okay? There are many things the law does not allow, but you can do it, technically you can do it. For example, you can use my voice.
So governments can do it against their political opponents. It could be a very dangerous thing.
For example, you can use my voice, my video to let me to say anything, right? Now use generated AI, let me dance, or even you can generate a porno to blackmail me or whatever. You can do this. Technically, it's cool. The law doesn't say anything. Now the law said to ACT, AI, EU's AI ACT, 24%. Now it's illegal. Before that, you know, it doesn't look right, but no one says it's illegal, right? Now it's still possible, still. I cannot say legal or illegal, but at least not official as illegal. Okay, so that is something I want to ask, and that is I want to talk about it. In general, I may just want to finish here. You might remember my question. I asked you about, have you ever used any kind of check-in, any kind of action, whatever, photo things that's everyday life? If you did, raise your hand and now ask. If you are still going to do it, raise your hand. Let me take a photo. Okay, we are on the countdown. Yes, but why not? Why not? Akash, why not? Do you have 2 girlfriends? So that is something. We do this sort of change. Our components and I will. That's some kind of things that's a bridge. Let me just very quickly finish some kind of related work. Okay. I would like to say the error recorded as at the end of nowadays recorded at the end of science. This is 10 years ago. Science that you probably have become the country's stuff. Right? First issue, cover page, the enterprise. We even AI now that we have to resource to talk about it. So now into your photo, okay? For this stream, if you are interested in currently what kind of say privacy attack are available, you know that cybersecurity. What kind of privacy could be potentially that's broken? This is my team's work in Asian company survey last year, I think around December. So take this part. Privacy. And then attack is not important, right? Attack. You are interested in what? Protect your privacy, right? So we are interested in protect our privacy. Okay, of course, as my research center, we are doing the privacy preserving. Okay, and that's how we do it. The first work is we call it as so attribute journals like computer. We know that we have post common the PQC that prices, but with content. General privacy preserving. This is my team's work. As quite a number of years ago, we published a book in spring, and 14, if I get the last. Take some question. That's it. Thank you very much.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
You started with saying we are technician, then you said we are computer scientists. So I have some counterpoints to that, and I want to know what you say on.
Yeah.
So a few days back, I was solving a problem. I mean, we were discussing a problem of finding something, some arc of a circle enclosed in an angle of a given diameter.
Yeah.
So one way is to do it theoretically using trigonometric principle.
Yeah.
The other person said we can write a program, find out where the angles are intersecting, and then find the length of the arc.
Yeah.
Solving it programmatically.
Yeah.
So that is something now easily doable.
Yeah.
And one doesn't need to know the foundation of mathematical or the theoretical foundation in terms of trigonometry to solve that problem.
Yeah.
And as a result, people may actually don't need to know the theoretical foundation, which is actually the basis of scientists.
Yeah.
This problem can be extended even to protein molecule design, where people, rather than understanding how the molecule structures are, they simply use program to fit molecules and find antibodies. So that is, I think, not really science, but it is even moving from computer science, computer engineers to program engineers.
Put it this way. If you're thinking about as a AI, as a researchers, we are AI scientists. As a car driver or car designer, we are designing the car. We are not a car driver. So what you mentioned, that story was mainly about car driver. They're using AI tools and AI package to get a solution. As a scientist. We use a lot of that is that's mathematical. So you may have heard about in 1990s, people say statistics they should be called as data science. In general, as data science and research and AI research, we use quite a lot of statistics there. But we also use many other kinds of methods. For example, like when we are talking about organization, complex organization is a standard method that's behind AI. But of course, if you are not writing program, we don't need to worry about it. But in general, for algorithm design, we have by car available, the tools are available. So you don't really need to know the science, just like you just need a driver license. And we don't need to know much difference. But yeah, we should say that if we consider ourselves as researchers or as this kind of say people in the area, we have two choices. One is stick together, just like I said, we have that's the coach for the driving instructor. That's one way, and another way that we have people that design backgrounds. So there are different ways. But in general, we say for AI researchers, we still that's a science lab, hopefully.
Yeah, but the problem is, the student may find the programming approach much easier to solve the kind of problem. And therefore, for engineering college and academic institutions who are trying to teach the foundation, there may be a distinct lack of interest among students.
They don't need. If they cannot find interest, we don't. One thing, we will never plant our ideal interest in some other kind of people's mind. It's their choice. What is the reason about this one? We show them that is our interest, and if I'm the professor here, you may choose to follow me, you may choose not because. And nowadays, because of this kind of AI, there are a lot of jobs at risk. So you see that AI now can replace most of these kind of entry-level programmers. If they just want to be replaced, they can use the AI. Of course, they can add small boards. That's fine, no problem. But if they want to find in this era of user. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So I always say everyone is different, and we never focus. For me, as an educator, as a professor, I never ask any. That's my stand.
That is exactly what I told some of the students.
Yeah.
They used AI tools to make a good presentation.
Yeah.
But then they don't find the need of knowing how did they do it.
It doesn't matter. Even they don't
And
find
that is the message. What you said is actually what I was telling them, that if you do not do that, tomorrow you won't be able to solve real problems.
They should be aware. Yeah, that's a very good to have that and know. Yeah, but you don't need to change. We never want to change anyone. No need. Very good. Yeah, please.
Very interesting topic for you. And I was trying to correlate this to the overall discussion today.
Yeah.
What is the industry and how are we really as well, because the technology and the industry, the disruptions what it's causing. One you said the protecting our personal data and infrastructure, but then how do we protect our environment? You know, like the you said GDPR from the new.
Yeah.
We have EHS as well, right?
Yeah.
Environmental health and safety.
Yeah.
Because are we abusing the environment? Because
We use a lot of power,
Yes,
electricity.
mindset, you know, that everything is infinitely available.
Yeah.
The mindset today is all limited and the constraints for we work so that I need the next generation. So that tells you abuse the system. I think that's very important, and you know, I think because technology can do anything.
Yeah.
But some of the like human endowments what we have is one of the things is imagination functions is what is right and wrong. How will I get the governance to AI? I use AI to all this, but how will I do this governance, GIS, components, all this to the AI so that it is kind of knows what is right and wrong and what is good to the society?
Yeah,
How will you kind of protect humans as well as the environment, the long-term sustainability.
That's a very good topic, and I would like to say, quite a number of discussion about this. First one is mainly about this kind of electricity. The first kind of things is related to that. And another kind of thing related to it is they found the application of it. So how to use AI to adapt the traditional this kind of environment protection kind of say things. You see that in China they change desert into in the Greenland because of this kind of power.
I think it's deforestation. Even I saw the paper. Now the local area there was some cheetah and all that coming in JP level.
Yeah.
Maybe because of the deforestation and we are having abusing the environment, right?
It is. But I would say every generation has their own problem. Is there our last generation they are facing problem, now we are facing our problem. That and this so that's and that is more interesting. If one generation solve all the problem, just like say if one area is not every problem, no, what's the future of our PhD students? Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for those enlightening and visionary thoughts.
With respect and gratitude, we now proceed with the felicitation of our esteemed chief guest.
May I request our respected HOD, Dr. Ramesh Babu, to kindly felicitate the guests.
Thank you once again, sir, for enriching this conference with your valuable knowledge. And this
Gratitude is the memory of heart. To formally express our sincere thanks to everyone who made this inaugural ceremony successful, we invite Dr. Vimala Devi, Associate Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, to deliver the oath of thanks. Good morning, everyone. It's really a genuine pleasure to propose a vote of thanks, as it allows us to acknowledge the collective effort behind this meaningful international congress. On behalf of the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, we express our sincere gratitude to the management of DSCE for their vision, encouragement, and unwavering support. We warmly thank our chief guest, Dr. Gandhi, Professor, Deakin University, Australia, for graciously traveling from Mangalore to DSCE and for his inspiring address that set the tone for this event. Actually, our chief guest gave us two perspectives. Of course, all of us use social media, and while scrolling as a technician, hereafter I look at every post as a data. But as a common man, I have to think double or triple times before posting anything. So now I'm really scared about privacy breach. Also, we extend our gratitude to all our distinguished speakers, Mr. Manuel, Dr. Claudia Maria, Dr. Radha Krishnan Dellibabu, Mr. Akshit Jain, Dr. J. Sivanyanam, Dr. S.N. Omkar, Dr. Max Selena, Dr. Principal Dr. V.G. Prasad for his guidance. We also thank the heads of various departments, faculty members, and research scholars, along with our student participants, whose active involvement brings energy and purpose to this event. We gratefully acknowledge Dr. Ramesh Babu Diyar, our HOD, CSC, and convener of this event, for his leadership and dedicated efforts in steering this Congress to success. Appreciation and acknowledgement is due to the steering committee, Professor Aruna, Professor Prithvi, and Professor Punikumar, whose planning, coordination, and academic guidance ensure the smooth conduct of this Congress. We thank all the faculty members of our department for their constant support. With this, thank you all once again for being part of this memorable academic event. Thanks. With this, we conclude the inaugural ceremony of International Industrial Congress on Industry 5.0, Human-Centric, and Future Sustainable.
However, this is not the end. It is beginning of series of engaging and insightful online sessions and events scheduled for today and tomorrow. We request everyone to kindly take note of online conference schedule being displayed. We warmly invite all participants to actively engage in the upcoming sessions and continue contributing to this global exchange of ideas.
And before we disperse, we are delighted to inform you that high tea has been arranged outside the venue. Kindly join us for the refreshments and informal interactions.
All faculty members, please assemble.
Thank you once again for your gracious presence and participation.